Hello, my name is Reverend Dr. May Elise Cannon. Today is Tuesday. It's the 1st of July, 2025. Today is day 634 days since October 7th of 2023. Thank you. I just wanted to start with a quick personal update. People have been so incredibly gracious. Thank you for your kind wishes on social media, the many text messages, WhatsApp messages. I was in a biking accident where I had a bike crash on Sunday and then had to be in the hospital on Sunday and Monday. But I'm recovering, just need a few days of rest, and then I'll be back to normal. So thank you for all your well wishes in that regard. I wanted to start with an update in terms of a new Lines magazine article that says that what's happening in Palestine could be considered historicide in Gaza, that Israel's destruction of official and personal archives is changing how the story of Palestine could be told. The utter destruction of Gaza is hard to fathom. It's too extreme to comprehend. With more bombs dropped than the equivalent of 6 Hiroshimas, schools, universities, administrative buildings, homes, and hospitals, religious buildings and infrastructure lies in ruins. At the time of writing, 57,000 people have been killed, most of them civilians. It's estimated that it might be as many as 7 in 10 being women or children. Tens of thousands of people have been injured. People are desperate for food. The vast majority of crops have been destroyed. Israel is continuing to block aid. Many aid agencies are saying this is a deliberate weapon of war. Churches for Middle East Peace says as much. Hundreds of Palestinians, including children, have been shot dead while attempting to collect food. There is no life in Gaza. Nafin Nafal wrote to the author of this piece called Historicide in Gaza from the north of the Strip. Every day we see death before our eyes. But one of the things that's happening is the loss of history, not the heritage of long archaeological historical records that exists under the ground and in museums, but the history that hasn't yet been written. The archives historians will rely on to reconstruct life in the past. What we're witnessing is what could be called historicide, the attempted elimination of the possibility of future historical work. Just as the past 20 months of bombardments constitutes a continuation of Israeli policy towards Palestinians, the destruction of history can be seen in a historical arc reaching back to Israel's creation. A Roman pot or piece of Phoenician jewelry might be more glamorous than filing cabinets with administrative papers, but the latter provides basic facts that are needed to understand a society. How many people went to a university? What was the health of the people in Gaza like? How did this change during times of bombardment? What did pupils learn in school? How did this change with successive ruling powers, from Israeli military rule to the Palestinian Authority to under Hamas? Who owned the land? How equal was land distribution? The answers to these questions builds an understanding of the lives in the society about the inhabitants in Gaza. These are seemingly dry but foundational facts that are now gone. They are also under the rubble in the buildings that have buried so many bodies. I encourage you to take a look at that. Again, New Lines Magazine, Historicide in Gaza. All the while, the physical lives of people in Gaza continue to be taken, and more people in Gaza continue to be killed. An Israeli airstrike on a Gaza City coffee shop, popular with students, journalists, and remote workers, killed at least 41 Palestinians. 75 were wounded yesterday. This is according to Al-Shifa Hospital. Many of the injured are in critical condition. Israeli airstrikes killed a further 30 people in Gaza yesterday. The IDF said the coffee shop strike is under review. This is language we hear over and over and over again. It struck several Hamas terrorists in the northern Gaza Strip, the IDF also said. Prime Minister Netanyahu will meet with Trump at the White House on Monday. So Netanyahu is coming to D.C. next week. Ron Dermer is also in Washington this week with talks of senior officials about Gaza and Iran and other matters. But the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza continues. More than 130 charities and other NGOs that operate in Gaza issued a joint statement calling for the controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation to be shut down and for aid supply to revert back to the UN mechanisms. Palestinians in Gaza face an impossible choice: starve or risk being shot while they are desperately seeking to reach food to feed their families. Dismantling the humanitarian system in Gaza in favor of a deadly military-controlled alternative that does not protect civilians, nor does it meet basic humanitarian needs. The IDF yesterday, for the first time, acknowledged that Israeli troops have killed and injured Palestinians near the GHF aid distribution sites while contesting the death tolls given by the health ministry and denying allegations of deliberately firing at civilians. The Israeli military also said they would reorganize the way they operate at GHF after they've learned many lessons. Meanwhile, in the occupied West Bank, dozens of hard-right Jewish extremists clashed with Israeli troops, near a military base in the occupied West Bank yesterday, according to the military. The incident took place against a backdrop of rising tensions between settlers and the Israeli military in response to clashes between settlers and Palestinians. Israel and Iran are still battling, even though there is a tentative ceasefire. Satellite images show ongoing activity near Iran's Fordo nuclear enrichment plant, including an excavator with a crane appearing to be operating at the entrance, which collected the imagery this weekend. The G7 member states' foreign ministers yesterday said they support the Israel-Iran ceasefire and urged for the resumption of negotiations. Israeli strikes on Iran killed approximately 935 people during their 12-day air war with Tehran. And U.S. defense companies that operate in Israel are at increased risk of cyber attacks from Iran, according to an advisory that was just published by the U.S. Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, the FBI, and the National Security Agency, and the Pentagon Cyber Crime Center, they said yesterday. Trump yesterday signed an executive order lifting most of the sanctions from Syria in a move that scraps decades of U.S. policy towards Damascus. And in the U.S., Defense Security Cooperation Agency said that related to Israel, munitions guidance kits and munitions support will be offered. The State Department made a determination that approved a foreign military sale to the government of Israel of munitions guidance kits. The estimated cost is $510 million. The government of Israel requested to buy 3,854 KMU 558B B Joint Direct Attacks munitions. These are called JDAM guidance kits. These are for a BLU 109 bomb body and 3,280 KMU 579 FB JDAM guidance kits for an MK82 bomb body. The following non-MDE items were also included: the U.S. government and contractor engineering, logistics, technical support services, and other related elements of logistics and program support. The estimated cost of all of those is $510 million. Finally, I'd like to close with an encouragement to take action. If you're not signed up for our Churches for Middle East Peace mailing list, please sign up for those. You can do that on our website, CMEP.org. If you have not taken our action alert calling for a comprehensive and permanent ceasefire, please do so. And if you've not sent letters to your members of Congress on our Letters to Gaza campaign, Letters for Gaza campaign, please do that. You can find that at our website. I wanted to close with this letter that we posted on our social media. It's from a 13-year-old girl named Melissa. She sent this to her members of Congress. She said, "Hello, my name is Melissa." Well, she sent this to members of Congress. She's actually from Mexico. She said, "I'm 13 years old. I live in Chihuahua, Mexico. I don't know if this letter will reach someone who can help, but I really hope it does, because I need to say something I can't keep inside my heart. For days now, I can't stop thinking about the children in Gaza. I see the news, I see the pictures, and I cry. I keep imagining what would happen if that was my house destroyed, if that was my little sister hiding, scared and hungry. What would I do? Where would I take them? How would I protect them? And then I think of the children there who have no place to run, no one to hold them safely, and sometimes not even food or shelter, and that breaks my heart because it's not fair, because they're just kids. Like me, like my sisters, like all of us, we should be laughing. We should be going to school because they're living things no children should ever have to live. I know I'm just a girl. I'm far away. I don't have power, but I have something that many adults have lost. I have empathy. I have love. And if I could, I would bring every one of those children to my home. I would give them blankets, bread, a safe place to sleep, and so much love, because they deserve that, because their lives matter. Please don't forget them. Don't leave them alone. I don't know them, but I care for them. I carry them in my heart every day. I wish I could hug each one. Thank you to those who are helping. Thank you to those who still feel. Gaza is not alone. I am with them from here, Melissa. May God go before us, and may we have empathy like that sweet little 13-year-old girl, Melissa. In the name of Christ, amen.